I wanted to wear that sweater.
This is my favorite sweater right now.
That's my favorite sweaters too. Honey, no. Are you wearing anything under there? You're not even wearing anything under there.
I never wear anything under sweaters. That's
You
not.
slut!
It's not the. It's not the California way. It's shorts and sweaters in California. Nothing underneath.
That's not true.
That's the California dress.
Actually, I think I don't have anything. Yeah, I don't have anything under there.
Yeah, there's nothing under there. Well, welcome back, you guys, to our channel. It's been forever since we've done like a sit-down video.
I know, and they're my favorite videos.
Me too.
They really. I love you.
Oh, that's what a coincidence.
Yeah, so we just celebrated our 17-year anniversary. And that's such a milestone. We were just babies when we got together.
Such babies. I was fresh out of high school. I was 18. He snatched me up, and we've been together ever since.
I was graduated months before you were. Months. No, a year. A year.
Yeah, that math doesn't make sense.
Okay, whatever. Like that's no.
But hey, I wouldn't have it any other way.
I didn't snatch you up. You asked me out, actually.
I did.
Well, should we
let's go back. Well, this whole video is about the history of us because, yeah, we've talked about it here and there, but I don't know if you guys, like new and old to the channel, have ever heard our full story together. We've kind of calculated that we've spent at least half of our relationship almost this year documented on YouTube.
That blows my mind because it feels like, it feels like we've been doing YouTube forever, but it also feels like we just started like yesterday.
We thought it would be really cool to go back in time and show you what it was like year by year by year before, like fill in those gaps before we even started the YouTube channel together.
So it all started in 2007 on a cold winter January.
It was actually a very, very sunny winter.
But in January.
In
winter. So we actually, we can go back and look, but I think we even printed out our conversation somewhere, but we met on MySpace. I remember we officially started dating January 21st.
Yeah, because we just celebrated that day. We're that couple that celebrates what is the dating anniversary?
You have to do the dating anniversary because we didn't get married till what, like 7 years after?
Yeah, especially in our case, I feel like.
Yeah, so it counts.
Yeah.
So we started dating in January 21st, but we had been talking for like 2 or 3 weeks before that. So I think it was like days after the new year.
What a way to start that year too. I was not looking for anything. I was like, I'm done with relationships. I don't want anything. I just want friends.
And I was looking.
But for me, I was like, that's when I was like, I was always looking for romance. It was you that I was looking for all along looking back, but I'm like, I was looking for romance the entire time, and I'm like, this is not how to do it. You have to do it when you're not looking. But you were looking.
I was looking.
But I'm glad you were looking. No, I'm glad one of us was looking.
I had just come out like 6 months before that, and it was just like, all my friends knew, it was my first year of college. I finally came out. I had like transformed my whole life. I like lost a whole bunch of weight. I got into shape. I was feeling good. I was feeling healthy. I came out to my friends, my family, and it was months after that, and I was just like, it hit me that I never was really in a relationship before. Our friend Sam had me scheduled for a blind date with her friend, who she doesn't even remember who it was now at this date.
I know, right?
But this was so long ago.
That would have been a totally different story. Like our kids wouldn't look the same because you'd be with a different father.
You don't have kids. Well, bandit.
They're like
the German Shepherd.
A poodle. Or it'd be like that picture like on Back to the Future where they'd start disappearing.
But I just somehow stumbled onto your MySpace account.
Yeah.
2007 MySpace. Not Facebook, MySpace. And
it's all about advertising, guys. You gotta put yourself out there. That's how you're gonna find someone. You know, if I didn't ever put myself out there and advertise and myself, then
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you know, my mom told me never to talk to strangers, but look at me now.
I'm so glad you didn't listen to that.
So anyways, I found Aaron. I messaged him, not thinking anything of it, and then we just kind of like started talking online, and that developed into talking on the phone. And he even said specifically that he wasn't looking for a relationship. And at that point, we had been like, I'm not a night person. Like I'm in bed at 9, 10 o'clock, okay? 10:30, we're pushing it.
Yeah.
And Aaron was a night person, so he couldn't talk on the phone because he used to work till 10 o'clock at night until like 11.
Yeah.
And so I would like wait up and we would talk till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I love those days though.
Me too, I was tired.
We talked about everything though.
We did.
We were getting to know each other. It's safe to say that 2007 was the year of us, like establishing us. We did get pretty crazy. We got together after like 3 weeks, and then after that it was like we moved in together, like 3 months later.
Well, yeah, so I remember the dates actually. So January 21st is when we started dating. April 9th of that same year, we moved in with each other.
Yup.
So we moved super fast, and
we had nothing when we moved in together. I had just moved out of my house. We were working like...
Me too.
Yeah, we both did. We were working retail, and we didn't have a lot of money at all, so we actually had to
I was actually working at a kennel.
Oh yeah, you were. You were, I totally forgot about that. And we didn't have any money, we didn't have anything really. I mean, we were bottom of the barrel right now. And we actually so we moved in together, we moved into a bedroom. That was probably the most happened in that year in the first part of our relationship. Because we were getting to know each other, moved in really fast, but I'm glad we did because when you know, sometimes you just know.
Yeah. So now that wraps up 2007. Now going on to 2008. What did we do in 2008?
2008 was like the same. It was like we were eating ramen noodles and macaroni and cheese. We were really trying to find ourselves. I know we were trying to get an apartment, but we just we couldn't catch up. You know how there's like that hill you have to get over of like, not just debt, because making money. You know
I was in college too, you guys, at this time. Like, we had no money. And like, I paid for my college and I had student loans, but like, I remember literally dinner was easy macaroni and cheese or top ramen, and then Oreos were dessert.
Yeah.
Like that was like every day.
Yeah. That's why 2008, that's why kind of like 2008, 2009, 2010 kind of blurs together for me, because we really didn't get our first apartment until, what was it? Was it 2009 or 2010? It was a couple years after we were renting.
I think it was 2009.
2009.
Yeah, and that was, so we got that apartment, I remember that when it was our first place. We got it in 2009 in October. And I had just gotten a promotion at work, and so I was like, and it was like $1. And I was like top shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was special because it was our first place together. So we were like, it had to be special. We had like, I remember we would get little pieces of furniture here and there.
Yeah.
It was never, nothing matched, obviously. Nothing matched. But that's also when we got Coda.
We did, we got Coda that year.
Coda.
Yeah, little baby boy. So for those of you guys who are new, Coda was our puppy before Bandit. We had him for 11 years and he passed away, I think 3 years ago now. Yeah,
it's been a little while now, but he was our baby. He was our first pet together, so that was a big milestone.
So he was awesome, and
he was 2009.
He was 2009, yeah. I think 2010 and 11 were kind of just like
trying to stay afloat, I would say, right?
Yeah, like we were trying to just figure out, like I was in college, I was trying to go through that. I wanted to write books, but I was going to college for something entirely different. Aaron was trying to make it as an artist and doing, you were doing like temp agency job work.
I was, 2010, 2011, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I wanted to do something with art, but I just, art doesn't make money unless you're like some big shot, it has an art gallery or something. So I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with art. And those next 2 years were just going back and forth to temp agencies, working these jobs that I knew I didn't want to do for the rest of my life, but I had to do them because we had to make rent and we had to afford life.
Do you remember the moment you
were done?
You were done?
I did.
I remember the story, but do share.
I was working at a job, and so we can end this. We can skip ahead to the end of 2011. I was working a temp job, and it was for this company that all I did was, and I was getting paid shit too. All I did was scan papers. I was digitizing. What's that word? Digitizing? I was digitizing all of their files. So I was working for like the police department. I was just like, honestly, all I was doing, you guys, for 8 hours a day was scanning papers into a scanner.
Can I just say that's my health?
And so all I did every day after work those times was obviously draw, but also the other half was looking up different jobs. So I finally got desperate enough and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something that I wanna do, but even if it means not getting paid. So that leads us to 2012.
So Aaron landed an internship and it was in LA and we were living in Orange County. So we actually, we had a, and I was working in Orange County, but we moved to a studio apartment in LA and you were not getting paid for like 5-6 months?
I wasn't getting paid. I was an unpaid intern, but I knew that at the end there was like 3 or 4 of us and one of us would get hired. So I just really busted my ass on that job because I really wanted it. And I knew that deep down that this was gonna change our life working there.
Yeah. And I remember we had to refinance the car.
Oh my God, yes!
So we had enough money.
Oh my God, we're still
not to have a job.
Still in the red, like below the hill, like under the hill still. We weren't even like at the tip yet. So 2012 really changed a lot of things. When we moved to LA, it really did change things. We, I started working there, and I remember those were the nights when we would like, we were still pretty freaking young for moving there too.
Yeah, we were.
And when we moved there, like, you know, we could have partied, which, you know, like,
every once in a while.
Every once in a blue moon. We got over it pretty fast. But most of the time, honestly, after that internship, after work, and after work for you, I would be drawing. And we were in a studio apartment.
It was like a cool studio though. Like, that was probably one of my favorite places we've lived that we rented. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's not one of my favorite places.
Me too. It felt like home.
Yeah, like, it was just cozy. Just me and you, Coda. We did get Merlin that year.
We did get Merlin that year.
But it was like, it was a big studio. Like, the living room and bedroom were the same, but then there was a kitchen, a dining room, weird. Yeah. More like a kitchen nook, I should say. And then there was like a separate bathroom and like a vanity section.
Yeah, that changed, that apartment and that whole like vibe in LA changed everything because yeah, we went out and everything, but most of the time, like I would say 5 or 6 nights a week, that night we were both working on, in that studio apartment together, we were both working on our creative stuff.
So yeah, so we were there for a couple years. 2013 we got married. I had my first published book that year.
That was 2013? That was the same year?
And we went to London for the first time.
Oh my gosh. Like, we did it as cheap as possible. We had a really, like, that was the best day of my life. I know people say that all the time, but it was like really, like, not only was I marrying like the person I want to be with the rest of my life and my best friend, but we did it our way. We did it super cheap because...
But we did my brother's restaurant.
Yeah.
So they, like, we got like the best deal ever. He's a chef at a fancy restaurant, but the owner just gave us so much stuff for just on the house.
Yeah, but it was still classy. It was cool. It was like half comic-y and Batman-y, but half classy. It was a Batman-themed wedding.
It was like the concept of it was like a masquerade in Gotham.
Yeah, it was something we saw on like Pinterest or something. We had our dream wedding, and then, but what we did was we did it super cheap because we're like, we want to spend most of the money, you know, instead on a honeymoon and spend that time together. And so we did, and we went to London. We had the most magical time ever.
Yeah, like just like having that wedding, which was amazing, and just like hopping on an airplane like 2 days later to go to London was just so like, it was really cool. It was like, I couldn't have wanted a more perfect wedding / honeymoon. It was awesome.
Me too.
So anyway, so we get home and we back to real life. That was 2014.
Pretty much, yeah, that was pretty much wraps up 2013. 2013 was another big year for us, though.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened.
Right?
What happened in 2014?
Well, I think we got, 2014 I think was like a recovery year. So I think we just kind of like, just coasted.
And that's what led us to 2015 when we officially started Husband and Husband, but it was a blog and it was just a comic strip. I would post the comic strip, like literally this was so long ago that I would actually draw the comic strip on paper, scan it in, and draw it on the computer. So I wasn't digitized. I didn't have a tablet yet or anything, you guys. Like this was the start, like the bare start of Husband Husband.
And that was the year I wrote The Ghost of Buxton Manor, which like I had published a book before, but this was the book that was gonna change my writing career for the rest of my life. Like this was my first, I would say, good book. Like, and it was gonna be the book that like started a series, which by the way, the 3rd book is about to be coming out. It's gonna come out sometime, I think, did we decide a date?
May something. May second week, yeah.
Just stay tuned. But yeah, so that was for me as a writer, that year changed my whole path. Like I saw, for the first time, I saw the direction of what I want to do as a writer.
That's 2015 though.
Yeah.
2015 was when we started the blog, the comic, and that book series. So that was a huge, huge year. And that was right before we officially started the Husband channel. We did that so smooth.
Yeah.
That was so smooth.
1, 2, 3. Husband and...
No, it's not. That first take was perfect.
Oh, okay. So,
but we're not talking about 2016. I think that's a good point to stop at, because those were the years right before you guys saw everything, like right before the channel started. But yeah, that was oh my gosh, we did so much leading up to that. And even all those years later, like 8, 9 years later, we were still like in a studio apartment.
It's so crazy because like you hear that story about those people like, you know, who move to the city and are living in a studio apartment to start their careers when they're really young. And it's really crazy to think that we actually did that.
I'm so glad we did all that though, and it's really cool. Even though, you know, we had some really rough years in the beginning, and we had to, you know, we worked all day and all night trying to make like these dreams happen. But it's literally because of your support.
Yeah, so, you guys literally, like, we're talking about how the years that we struggled to try to make our dreams happen, and honestly, you guys are such a huge part of, or the reason why like our dreams have come true. And so thank you so much, and these Kickstarters do help so much.
Thank you so much for everything, and I hope you stick around with us and hang out some more.
Love you guys, see you later.